Hey guys, welcome to part 2 and into. Yes, I have same t-shirt on. Yes, I have same shorts on. We have shot this in two parts because you guys sent so many questions. And if you've been waiting, this is time to maybe hear if you, Christian, got chosen out. So let's get this started. Has there ever been a team that you played that seemed always to be a step ahead of you in terms of tactics, call in mid-game, despite what you did to prep? This could be any iteration of the game. I think the one I have the most issue is our good old classic Brazilian core with Fallen, Cold and Fur. I have lost so many games, didn't matter what team I had. I think I had 3 different lineups. I could just not beat them. And I think many of the things was they were specialists on overpass and we were specialists on overpass in many of my teams, and we could not have any chance. It didn't matter. I think maybe I beat them once, but in that peak when they played the greatest. For us, they were unplayable. It was completely style clash. We played aggressively. They played very slow structured and kind of isolated us in a lot of duels. So trust me when I say I tried different approaches. Maybe I tried to play structured, we got slammed. I played to play faster, got slammed. There was chances we had, but then of course Zero came up with a 1-on-4 to break our money and game over, you know. That game was unplayable for me, and I still think that's the team I had the most issues in my whole career. Best advice for upcoming IGL players. Ooh, if there's any IGLs out there. It's a long road ahead of you, but once you hit the end of that long road, you are in heaven. We all know that IGLs are not so many of them on the market. Many players are becoming IGLs when they turn the 30s because they have great mind for the game. My best advice is being self-reflective. Be aware that you have teammates that want to play a style, a version of the game, a different vision than you. Try to mix it always, try to listen and dissect what you think you can bring to the team, what you think can be good. And most important, there's gonna be many times you are alone, meaning the only voice that can help you is your own. Being self-reflective is a key word for me. And I think what's underrated, especially with IGLs, is work on your mental game. In many of the games where I called bad, I wasn't mentally in it. Maybe I'm shooting good, but that's not gonna help. You always need to try to stay positive, bring belief in the game. So for me, try to make a good structure, try to stay strong mentally, always trying to work on the details. You cannot change the way you play over one day, but if you change details every day and learn something from every day, being self-reflective, I think you become a great IGL. IGL is 2 parts. One thing is shot calling in the game, reading the game. I think many players can do that. But leading is something you either have or you have to grow into. And for me, I didn't really have leader qualities when I was 21. I had to grow into them. I had to study books. I had to study YouTube. I had to study Kobe Bryant to what they did right. And I think you need to study other leaders that you think are great for you, have great mindset, and try to study and read them, understand them, and where it's coming from, and create your own leading style. That's the best advice I can give you guys. Are you a cat or a dog person? Funny thing is that I always grew up with cats in my home, but later years I'm for sure a dog person. I think cats was really nice when I was young, but there's really something about a dog and the love they give and so on. A cat you can just pull and put on your lap, but a dog is having her own personality a lot and running around having fun. So I think I become a dog person the last few years. Biggest regret in your career? I have many of those. I think one of them must be patience in a lot of things. I think I've done decisions that maybe also lead to who I am today. I think if I haven't had learning experience from the Scariest situation, getting benched in FaZe, I wouldn't be who I am today. Biggest regret was not enjoying 2017, 2016, when the game got big. I didn't really just like enjoy being on stage, enjoying being part of a journey. By that, I think like I took maybe some decisions that maybe I wouldn't do today. But I also believe that the reason why I wouldn't take them today is because I took them early in my career, where I was maybe some of the times a little immature when it came to overthinking stuff, being angry about small things, when life has a bigger purpose, life has a bigger meaning. It's just not about small details. So when it comes to regrets, I think there's regrets in game, but overall I think the way I reacted to the benching of FaZe and the benching of Astralis could have been better, and I would have been different today if I had the same situation. So I think that's some of the biggest regret, that I kind of always in the end blamed myself for everything, for why I got benched. And I think that kind of stopped me for developing for a while. I would love to know more about the crystals/rocks you have added to your setup. So this is a thing that kind of started during COVID. I was playing AWP for Mouse. We benched Voxic and I was only playing AWP. There was a situation where my wife Anna was kind of like listening to how I was talking to myself about how I didn't hit this shot with AWP. So she went in to watch a demo with me, and basically I had to say if this is a 50-50 duel or I should have hit this 70 out of the 100 times, you know, like this kind of thing. And she kind of gave me an object as a coin. So if I fail that shot I think I should have had, I'll just flip the coin and believe, okay, next time I have it. And when we came back to playing on LAN, I kind of brought these rocks that now represent values. Some of them explains courage, one is confidence, one is rock is for like thoughts that they're fine to have, but they shouldn't like limit me to what I want to do. So all of these rocks have like a value that I sometimes look to in the game. And just as we played Rio, I remember in 12-9 I looked at one stone, and courage was the one that just sprung to my mind, and I just rushed out mid, and just like no matter what happens I need to show courage to my teammates. As a leader, as a player, and I just went out and killed like 2 guys, and you know, these stones give me like these key values that you sometimes forget in the game that you want to represent, so they have a deeper meaning than what people think. If there was a player from 1.6 you would like to see at a full power in CS2, who would it be? That's a good question actually. You know what, I would say Sunde from 1.6 or Magelov. If I want to see them how good they could be, I think those some of the overs I admired the most from 1.6, Sunde and Magelov. They were so amazing in the way they played and the personalities and the way they thought about in the game. So for sure one of those two I would like to see in full force. How important do you think sleep, eating and drinking is to performance? I think that is very important. I have an issue sometimes at tournaments, I can't sleep. Basically I'm too excited, my mind is in combat mode. I think I only sleep like sometimes 6 hours each day at a tournament where I would like to have 7 and 8. So I think it's very important that you also eat the right things. I think most of the players have to analyze themselves, what kind of things they feel like made them tired during the game. Some people like to drink electrolytes, coffee before a game. I think there's all these kind of studies, but for me it's the most important thing how you feel. Understanding what the food does, understanding what water does, understanding what electrolyte does, and then kind of finding your own way. I think there is no perfect solution to performance, but I think there is a huge potential for players to understanding what can interfere with the performance. So for me, I'm always trying to analyze if I was really tired during a game, what did I eat, how did I sleep? And that comes back to my other part 1 where I talk about details. Like if you can analyze why this happened in a game, you can go into the details and make sure you don't eat these things before next game. How do you handle pressure, and what's your best advice for players on how to handle it? I think pressure is really important to kind of like look in 3 different areas, right? There's pressure from yourself, there's pressure from your teammates, there's pressure from community, and maybe even pressure from your family about making a living out of playing, right? There's different things, and I think the most important thing, and the one I hate the most, is pressure within inside the team. If there's pressure inside the team, it gets to you on another level than the pressure from community, organization, family, or yourself. Because that pressure is something that really spreads fast in the team. So how do you handle it is up to yourself to find a way. For me, it's accepting that you are in a moment, and often I feel like pressure comes with, we need to win this tournament, we need to win this game, we need to win the next round, this map is really important. Think about things that are important, and therefore you build another layer under pressure. And if you are able to stay in the moment, you don't think about the pressure, you only think about what's important right in front of you, how you want to move in the round, how you want to do these kind of things. So make sure that you can in theory also do goals, and therefore you can kind of like put self-pressure at this moment, at this tournament. In 3 months I need to be at this level, and therefore you have leadway up to that tournament. And yes, there's going to be pressure no matter what, but try to focus on the things you can control, because sometimes pressure is outside control. You can't control it. You can't say you're going to win this game because it's not guaranteed. You are a team. So yeah, I think it's a lot about accepting that some things are out of your control, and the only thing you can control is your thoughts and your emotion and how you practice, and making sure you are in the best shape and you are preparing as much as you can, and then it's up to how it happens in the moment and try not to think too much ahead. I think that helps me at least. What FaZe jersey that you have worn was your favorite? I think one of my favorite jerseys was basically the colorful FaZe jersey, really old school blue, red. Right when I joined, it was so different. I mean, I liked it so much. I always liked the colorful jersey. I think the jersey we have now is pretty nice as well, but there was just something about that rolling back the years with the colors and the colorful FaZe logo was kind of like nostalgia for me. When I look pictures, it looks pretty cool actually. So for sure, that's my favorite. You have joined a lot of teams and found success. When you join a new team, what are your first priorities to ensure the foundation is set up for success? Great question. How do I break this down? I would say my first thing when I join a team is making sure that my page is blank. So whatever I think about the player, whatever I heard about the player, what I heard about the coach, the way they play, whoever they are, personalities, I have a blank slate. But I already did pre-work, like reading interviews, understanding how the player talks in interviews, understanding the personality. But the second I joined the team, it's analyzing the issues within the team, analyzing who is doing what, who is the funny guy, who is the guy who's quiet, maybe who is the emotional guy, all these kind of things. And the problem about that sometimes is that you are joining a honeymoon period, you only see the good things. But I always try to pay attention to why they are like this, and then later on you can see, okay, there's change in personality, the motivation a little bit gone. So I think that's what you do in a team first, and then you work with what you have at that moment, and you build a foundation and making sure that sometimes people see a foundation, this cannot move. But for me, I think a foundation keeps developing. People change, people win a tournament, they maybe work less, they think different about the game. Maybe lose tournament, they play a little bit different. So in my opinion, like foundations keep moving like it's a floating plate, and you have to constantly work on having a good center foundation of how I want to call, how I vision the game, but the small details around that foundation can change all the time, and therefore you're never stale in the way you play and the way you think. Understanding the players, build a foundation, and international team build a work ethic, because work ethics in Denmark to America to different countries, they are way different. So make a work ethic culture, work culture inside the team that's your culture, and you are only working on those things, and it's way easier to work ahead than working behind. Dunk, Monesi or Saivu, who is the scariest / hardest player to play against, and how do you build a game plan against them? First of all, I don't build game plan against Symbol, Saivu, Monesi or Dunk or whatever who I play. There is just things you need to be aware of, things they like to do. But these players, some of them don't do the same peaks. They always constantly adapt in the game, and they're hard to kind of read what they do. Hence why they're one of the best players in the world. They are never doing the same things over and over again. I think playing Dunk in Katowice was probably the most scariest thing. Playing a rifler that just didn't care, so to say, and we had really no chance. We could double peek the guy and he kills 4 guys. I'm like, okay, I think our team has 4 good aimers, but we can't kill a guy who's just alone in the open. So for me, that was the scariest. I always think Saivu is good, Monesi is so good, but the peak Dunk had in Katowice was incredible, and I don't think anyone is gonna come near that in the future, the next few years at least. What's your favorite map in CS history? I think my favorite map in CS history is just Mirage. It's a classic map. I know all the people playing FaZe don't think it's so fun, but I think as a visually, I always love the map. I love the tactical. It's perfect balance between playing explosive, playing slow, finding gaps. CTs have positions to move, they can fight for mid. I just think it's a perfect balance when it comes to the tactical approach of the game. And I really love that. It's not like one-sided map. It can be a very simple map, but it can also be very fun with different fakes, making rotations, boost up window, cutting off rotation. So for sure, I think that's one of the best maps in CS history. Can you rank the full FaZe roster from best dressed to worst dressed? Holy moly. I think I'll start myself. I am so casual and I don't really care how I'm dressing at tournaments. I can dress up nicely and fine to dinners and vacation and stuff like that, but I'm probably the worst dressed. Some of the guys got some swag in their dress. I really like Kobe's, but maybe he's also a bit older than the guys. He's very casually dressed sometimes, have some nice stuff. But I think Brokey, Frozen, Robin is always like, they got some drip boys with their shoes and everything. So I'll put them together. So probably me the worst dressed, but I can still dress up nice. Just relax. Why hasn't Rubs dropped the operation? Because Rubs was basically dropping the new update with skins and stuff like that, and then he obviously also down in a little slump. So he's coming back now, and I think there's gonna be way more updates now when he feels a little bit more happy and you know, playing better. So I think that the operation is gonna be dropping soon, maybe 2027, but stay tuned. Ever thought about releasing a book about your in-game / outside game knowledge? I have this in my mind that I wanna give a book, a biography at some point, but it's not something I'm gonna do now. It's something maybe when my career is over. It's gonna be fun to reflect on a lot of stuff. I think a lot of things that people wanna know or people wanna read about. For sure, something I'm thinking about doing. How and when and where, I have no idea. But for sure, I think I have some life experience, especially in my gaming career as a leader, that I want to put out there in the public and maybe inspire others to do different or do the same as I did. Who knows? But I think I would like to inspire others, and maybe my story can help pushing people forward to chasing their dreams. Like I've chased my dreams since I was a small kid, and only in 2022, 3 of them came alive, you know? What's the meaning of life? Whoa, that's deep, boys. Meaning of life is getting eco-frags. No, I'm kidding. Meaning of life, I think being kind, appreciate the moment, be in the present, and be good to each other. I think that's the meaning of life. I think we are all social human beings or social beings. So being with each other, sometimes less on phone, even though I have my phone in my hand right now, reading your questions, but being present, being aware, I think that's the meaning of life. I think it's a very deep question, and I have not thought about it before I read it, so that's my take. Do you think age is a big factor in CS performance? I think age has never been more relevant than it is now in CS. I think we have few players who is pushing beyond their 30s, me including. Before that, when CS became big, I think 30 was like, okay, you need to get a life now, priorities, kids, but right now it is so much possibilities in CS. There's so many tournaments. There's a lot more money now that you can justify traveling around the world, just like football players. I think it's even harder to be 40 and play on a high level in soccer than it is playing CS at 35. I think it all comes down to passion. Like my reaction time, I don't feel it's slower because I play 8 hours every day. But after vacation, 2 weeks without PC, my reaction time is so slow, boys. It's insane. But I think you have other qualities that people don't have. You have to think my scenario. I have been in every single calling situation in my whole career. There's not a new calling situation that I haven't tried before. So I think experience helps a lot in these big games, but I still need to perform at this level to get to those games. Your favorite 1.6 memory? I think my favorite moment in 1.6 is probably being a kid, grinding all night, playing with friends. You know, sometimes when I think back about 1.6, it reminds me of having fun in the game. To be honest, it's not always fun to being a pro player. I know we are privileged in what we do, and we travel around the world competing, traveling with teammates, and everything is paid, you're earning good money. But when I think about 1.6, I think about fun times, having fun, joining the server, playing public, playing with friends, and just enjoying life and like playing the game for fun. So I think just all 1.6 public servers, 2 to 5 a.m. While my parents were sleeping, until they woke up, I had to turn off my PC and go back to sleep, you know. So that's my favorite moments. What is the best drink in the world? The best drink in the world is water. Imagine you're going outside, it's super hot, and you just get that cold water. How much have you changed your IGL style over the years? I think it's very hard to answer that question. I think, first of all, my IGL way of playing and calling haven't maybe changed so much. I think the way I think about the game, I was adapting to the meta, but I think what changed the most is for sure my leading style, being a stronger leader, understanding what the team needs in certain moments of the game, not being scared to do the wrong call. Because sometimes when I was younger, I thought about, oh no, what if they're stacking B and I call B explode. Nowadays, I just go with what I feel is right. And if we lose because of that, I can take responsibility for going with my feelings. So I think leading has been improved over the past few years, and that comes with experience as well. Calling style, I think I just always try to adapt to the meta. Sometimes all the teams are playing very slow. I find a way we can play a little bit slower, but I think my trademark and DNA as a caller has been very aggressive, explosive style, but you can't constantly do that. So it's a constant battle between adaptation of playing a little bit slower and still throwing a little spice there. A split, B fake, jump out mid on Mirage and kill 2 in the back. Do you think any weapons should be deleted, added, buffed or nerfed? I actually haven't thought about that at all. I think the CS2 balance of weapon is pretty good. I don't think anything should be nerfed or buffed or whatever. I think it's a perfect balance. I think the SG is pretty useless though right now, but a little bit useless because when it got buffed, it was too much guys, okay? For now, everything is perfect. It's too well. If you're watching this video, please don't change anything. Everything is perfectly fine when it comes to weapons and the balance. Don't make the SG better. Thank you very much. What are your other favorite games besides CS? I think, honestly, I can't remember really enjoying other games than CS. I think played a little bit, what's called Among Us, but after a few times, it's also not that fun. You need the right people. I think one of the games I relax the most with, that has been a consistent factor over the past 10 years, is FIFA on PlayStation, not on PC, but just sitting on the couch and not watching as a monitor, but watching a TV monitor is pretty nice. So I think like playing FIFA on PlayStation is like different than Counter-Strike. I think like everything FPS related, I just really get bored over time. I think I have 200 hours in PUBG over past many years. And it's like, it's a small 10-hour within a week and then I'm tired of the game. Been like this my whole career, only focused on CS. And that's why I'm here today. Toughest game mentally of your whole career? God damn. I think the toughest game is obviously, I think there's two. One of them is Boston Major. It's very hard to talk about, think about. I remember just going vacation. I think we didn't talk for a whole week, the whole team. Everybody went separate ways. We didn't rewatch. I haven't to this day rewatched the game. That's gonna be a content piece at some point. When my career is over, I'm not gonna open up the wound, but I'm gonna for sure rewatch at some point and do a video about it. That game, I knew what was wrong. I knew what we could have done better. I don't need to rewatch it. But that game mentally kind of broke me for a while, and I think I couldn't cope with it at all. Then there is the Katowice final against Fnatic, just a month after Boston Major. We lose to Flush in 5th map, going 40 frags in relic. It was hard to handle as well. Exactly same way we lose in the game, up 15-14. He makes an ace last round or something. We lose that game. And then I think the previous years, obviously the Copenhagen Major, playing so good, beating Spirit the way we did, beating Vitality the way we did, playing against Na'Vi, winning second map like 13-2, coming into Inferno and just no chance in the game. And I end up having like 1 frag, yeah. And that got kind of mocked for a while, but I think the Boston is the one that hurts the most. I think maybe also got better at handling the Copenhagen Major than I handled the Boston Major. So I think these 3 events are pretty rough to talk about. So the last question is a live question, basically. It's a really tough one. It's the one you all been waiting for. Is a hot dog a sandwich? What the hell is this question, guys? It is a question that will make sure these comments goes wild. Because if I say one thing, I have half the population against me. If I say the other thing, half the population. But my wife said, if hot dog is a sandwich, then a pizza is a sandwich if you roll it. Is a pizza a sandwich? I don't think so if you ask an Italian. If a burger, if you ask an American, is that a sandwich? I don't think so. There's something in between. So I will go with hot dog is not a sandwich, and I'm sorry that if somebody this pisses someone off, I am deeply sorry. So this is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed almost 50 questions that you guys asked me. First of all, I want to appreciate you for sticking through this. Maybe you skipped to the last question. That was the most important question of the whole the thing. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I enjoyed it getting all these questions. I appreciate it, and see you around, and make sure to subscribe and like for the next content that come out. Who knows? Maybe this one is popping off and I'm doing more content like this. See ya.